changed the world.
Hello, and welcome back to the world of assassination and the trending contracts. And today's contract, 0 Birds, set in Miami. And the contract ID is up on the screen now for anyone who wishes to have a crack at it, and has been supplied to us today courtesy of the W.O.A. So on to our briefing. Well, there isn't one, so we're just going to say that our targets today have been rather naughty people and they need to be shown the error of their ways. So speaking of targets, today we have 5 of them, and we have no stipulations on how we dispatch them or what we wear whilst we do so, so we have a free map. So for today's challenge, we will be starting at the marina, and we're going to be bringing with us some coins, a vial of lethal poison, and a silenced pistol. So right from the start and off the bat, we're going to put down this intriguing news article and make our way straight over to the pier, where we will encounter our first target, and that is the Florida man. Now, if we're quick enough, we can get here just as he's finishing fishing and throw him over into the ocean. So that's one target taken care of. Now from here we're going to move on to the parking lot, and we're going to take on our first of the 2 mascot targets, and the first and nearest one is down in the car park. He is the imposter. He's actually beaten up the real mascot and taken his outfit in an attempt to blackmail Sierra Knox. So we're just going to make our way down into the parking area. We're just going to drop a coin on the floor way over by the ticket machines, and then throw a second coin over in the same direction to get our target's attention. And when he goes over to investigate, we can then let him get nearer to the coins. That should do nicely. We're going to pounce on him and snap his neck. So that's 2 targets taken care of. We're just going to hide our new friend here in the nearest available dumpster, which is in the corner of the car park. So we're just going to drag him all the way in here and dump him in. You don't need to drag him all that way. You can leave him in this little section of corridor and he won't be spotted. But I like to be neat and tidy sometimes. So we're going to retrieve our coins, and we're going to now move on to our final 3 targets, all of which we can manipulate into one location. This does make things somewhat easier, but it also is highly dependent on our targets' timing in their routines. Now this will be probably different each and every time you try it, so the best method is to ignore Moses Lee first of all. He has an enforcer with him anyway, so that's easily done. But we're going to make our way to the overpass, and we're going to collect up the hammer at the bottom of the stairs. And when we get to the top of the stairs, we're going to render the race marshal here unconscious. We're going to grab the crowbar. That's going to be useful for our exit. And we're going to take the race marshal's outfit and then continue on across the racetracks and down the other side. And this is where we are going to manipulate our remaining targets. Now, one is the race director, one obviously is Moses Lee, the race driver, and one is our final mascot. And to get them all in the same location, all we have to do is disqualify Sierra Knox. So there we go, Sierra Knox has been disqualified, the race has ended, and Sierra Knox, Moses Lee, the mascot and the race director, along with a load of mechanics and journalists, will all make their way through this tunnel. So all we have to do is wait here for them. And as I said, depending on your timings or your target's timings, you can eliminate them all as they come along. But as you'll see, for me, the timing wasn't perfect. So we're just going to make our way into the utility corridor here and render the race guy. I don't know what you would call this guy. He's like a cleaner, but he's also an official race employee. So he's the race cleaner. We're going to render him unconscious and hide him around the corner for the moment. Make our way back into the underpass. And if we use instinct, we will be able to see all of our targets are heading this way. Now this is where the timing part comes into it. As you can see, they're all nicely spaced out, everything's looking great, but one or more of the targets will either stop or speed up, and Moses Lee and the mascot arrive in this tunnel for me together. So we have to pick and choose our targets. But first to arrive is the race director. So we're just going to let him go past, and when he gets near that door, we're going to render him unconscious with either your hammer, your crowbar, or the soda can I collected from in the corridor. We're going to snap his neck, and then we're going to deposit him in the chest in the utility corridor. So moving back on, we're just going to basically rinse and repeat the same thing for the mascot, but we have plenty of time, so I'm just going to quickly hide the race cleaner. There's plenty of places to hide targets around here, so we're not worried about space in the closets. So with that taken care of, our targets should be somewhat closer, and it's at this point, if we use instinct, there go the reporters. You can see that both of our targets are almost together. Now, as I mentioned, Moses Lee has an entourage with him, including one enforcer. So what we're going to do is we're going to let Moses Lee and his little group go past, and then we're going to slow down the mascot as much as possible until the straggling reporter you can see just outside the door there decides to bugger off. We also have some unexpected visitors to our little underpass here, so we'll also have to try and keep our target nice and close by, also without disturbing them two in the background. And dropping the coin didn't seem to work because everybody stopped. So we're just going to keep bumping into the mascot, try and let the others go past.
Sorry, man,
I believe that's a reporter. And once everybody is safely past, we can now use our coins. We're just going to throw one halfway back down the corridor there. That gives everybody else a chance to vacate the area, and our target to find himself richer by 1 coin and 1 concussion. So we're going to snap his neck, and we're going to hide him along with everybody else in the utility corridor, and that is 4 of our 5 targets now dealt with. Now, depending on your timing, you could potentially take out Moses Lee in this same corridor or tunnel on his return from the podium. But the more reliable method, as it doesn't involve quite as many enforcers in a narrow space, is to poison his beer glass back at the motorhome. So ignore what I'm doing because I've gone the wrong way. So we want to go in to the red carpet area, so we just want to follow the walkway here and around until we come to the Kronstadt motorhome, which is the red one here. We're going to make our way around to the back of the motorhome, and around the back here on a break we will find a waiter, and we're just going to wait for him to finish his cigarette, and he will move into a more favourable position for us, and we can then get behind him and render him unconscious and take his outfit. So once he moves away from the building, we can render him unconscious. We're going to take his outfit and we're going to hide him in the small medical center just behind us, just because people will be coming past on that carpeted area and they will spot his body lying there. So once we have him safely stored up, we can make our way over to the Kowloon motorhome, which will be the yellow motorhome just in front of us. Just be aware that there are a number of enforcers in the crowd in the form of guards, but we don't have to go anywhere near them because we're going through the back door and up the stairs here, and we're just going to wait outside the motorhome because there is another waiter in the vicinity and he is an enforcer. So once he starts moving away from the door, we can move in and around the back of him, and we're just going to take a nice wide path all the way around until we get to where that young lady is stood in the purple top there. So again, we're just going to wait for the waiter to move back towards the door, and while he is traveling, we have enough time to get to the beer bottle and poison it. So as the waiter to our left moves, we're just going to run over to the beer bottle in the corner of the room here, poison it with our lethal poison, and then retrace our steps back around behind the other waiter. Now at this point, I recommend just leaving the area and going and waiting by a exit of some sort, but obviously for the purposes of the video, after several minutes Moses Lee will turn up, and after several minutes more he will drink from the bottle of beer and he will promptly regret it. So that's all of our targets now dealt with. All that's left for us to do is to make good our escape, if you haven't already. And we are going to head, if you haven't already guessed it from the collection of the crowbar, for the sewer exit, which is likely one of the nearest safe exits. And again, we've gone the wrong way, but never mind, we can correct that very quickly and make a beeline for the sewers behind the pink hotel here. So there we go, one more trending contract taken care of. Quite an enjoyable one this, especially when you find out you can get most of your targets into one small area. So we have confirmation all of our targets have been eliminated according to plan. Nobody saw us commit any crimes, so we get our silent assassin rating. I have been Anubis, and I will see you all in the next video.